How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing good? Alright. I did something very crazy today. I bought, not that long ago, I bought the 5-pack sampler of liquid ass, the world's most renowned fart spray prank. I bought their 5-pack sampler, which comes with all of their different scents. It's like a barf one, a Texas, and ass on fire, all of them. And I mixed them all up into one concoction. And let me tell you, that was the worst fucking smell I've ever smelled in my entire goddamn life. The color that came out of those bottles was not okay. It was like brownish and shit. I have a video of it. I recorded myself doing it. I'm gonna post it on Twitter. Don't know when though. It was foul though. It was terrible. It started stinking up my living room and shit, and I had to get rid of it. Anyways, right now I'm on the path of saving up enough money to buy not only the Steam Deck, but the excuse me, but the headset thing, or the VR headset. I never tried out VR before. I never wore a single headset. I've always wanted to, but I never had the opportunity to. I mean, I had opportunities, I just didn't take them because I heard about kind of like an arcade. Like you go to an arcade and they have like a VR headset where you can play like a Beat Saber or whatever the fuck. And I never wanted to use them because I kept hearing about fucking like the diseases you can get from it from sharing the VR headset, so I just never wanted to put them on. My buddy has one. I was thinking about putting it on or going to his house and trying it out. It has never worked out though. But I am almost there. I am one paycheck away from achieving my goal of not only having the Steam Deck, the most expensive version of it, that comes with everything, the glass, fucking safety protection case, and all that stuff, and the headset at the same time. And I'm gonna buy them both, and I'm going to do some VR games here soon. I'll set up my camera in a way where you can see me. I have a pretty small office space. I mean, it's not really an office. I mean, I call it an office, but this is my gaming room. But I'm gonna play some games on those. I'm gonna research some good like horror games I never played before that are capable of VR. I'm thinking about doing. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna do Escape the Backrooms with it. That's like one of the only horror games that really fucks with me. So I'm gonna do it with VR. Anyways, Sorcery. Sorcery is a pretty cool game. I've seen gameplay of it, just like tidbits, like here and there. Nothing crazy. Steve Jacksons Sorcery is a series of interactive fiction adventure video games developed by Inkle for iOS, Android, Windows, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. First release on May 2nd, 2013. Now, I don't know anything about the story. I don't know how to play it. This is my first playthrough of this game. I thought it looked cool, so I bought the entire series. Like a fucking moron. So, we're gonna try it out. We're gonna have some fun with it too. Now, let's start this bad mamma jamma up. There's gonna be no webcam stream. I don't want my face to be in this at all. But here we go. Should pop up any second now. Hello, where are you at? Alright, I guess I won't do anything until I click one of these. Alright, Steve Jacksons Sorcery, Part 1. The Shamunati Hills. Shamutiniti? Shamunitani. Shamunati. The Sham Hills. I'm just gonna call it the Sham Hills. I need you to work. It's not wanting to work. Why aren't you wanting to work? We're gonna make you work. Technical difficulties. We're gonna get this shit to work. So let me go ahead and put an intermission right quick. I should have taken care of this shit before I started the stream. What am I thinking? Okay, let me remove everything off my desktop right quick. What are you doing? Here we go. This is the way to do it. Nope, wrong thing. All right, here we go. Nope. I'm so sorry. Let's get this fucking shit taken care of, please. Cool. We'll do this. Technical difficulties. We gotta make it work. Is that better? Good God, I hate Windows. Why did it do that? Whatever, it's working. Here we go. Let me fix my fucking docs. What are you doing? Oh my God, I'm so sorry that this is happening right now. Okay, just skip ahead, and if you're watching this on YouTube, skip ahead. Skip ahead. Jesus Christ. All right, everything's working now. All right. Steve Jacksons Sorcery. Part 1. The Shamunat. The Hills. And of course, we gotta keep the music though. We will pick a man. You have walked the wilds of Kakabad, through the Kuri and the spiteful backlands, all the way to Mumpang. You have survived traps, thieves, serpents, and vengeful gods, and now it is here. The Crown of Kings. It is said the crown was never forged, only found. By the Kalania, the reformer, a slowly foot soldier who became emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it crackles with influence. Take it! Your destiny awaits. With the crown in your hands, you will be as powerful as Kalania. The goblins are arming, the giants are walking, and the birdmen carving cruel daggers from stone. War will come, but you will prevent it. But then the image of the crown begins to flicker. You rush forwards. It's a trap. And startle yourself awake. You are alone, exhausted, in the little hut in the outpost settlement. Your unimaginable journey is not even a single step begun. Sorcery. I'm broke. What's this? I don't know. Center? Okay, that brings me back. Items, spellbook, pray. Scroll left and right to review your story so far, then click the button to rewind. Okay. This is our map. Oh, everything's 3D. Cool. Drink our minds. Forgive me if I mispronounce any of these words. Strawberry wood. Looks like we live in a fine fiefdom. All right. It is sunrise. You dress, breakfast on bread and goat's milk, and collect the pack and sword from beside your bed. Test the blade. You pause to test the blade against your thumb. The blacksmith has done well. The edge is keen and draws a narrow line of blood. Outside the hut, you hear the outpost settlement stirring into life. Pray for luck. Taking a moment more, you close your eyes and raise a prayer to your spirit guide. This morning it has a form of a panther. But what will it become once your journey truly begins? A great calm descends on you. Time to go. Time, then, to depart. You lift back the flap of the hut and step into the early morning sunshine. Can I just go anywhere? Draw a path to the flag. Eyes follow you as you leave the hut and walk towards the great Shamanti wall. The frontiers people of this tiny settlement are well aware of your mission. Greet them. You turn to them and bow. Some smile and reply, but are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. You are going beyond the wall, so they will believe you two to be cursed. A man is waiting on the path to the Cantopini Gate, the final doorway between Analand and the wilds of Kakabad. You recognize the sergeant of the Sightmaster warriors. He holds out his hand. Get out of my way. Greetings, Sergeant. Greetings, Sergeant. He touches his forehead with 2 fingers. You are almost ready, he says. I have for you a gift from the king. 24 pieces. 24 gold pieces. Oh, nice. It is all we can spare this time. He holds out a pouch. Take that shit. You accept the gift graciously. Thank you. You should buy some supplies before you pass the wall, the sergeant says. And you must collect your spellbook if you wish magic to aid you. Finally, should you wish to practice your swordplay, I will go one last round with you. And he points with his staff towards the training ground. Let's go collect the spellbook. One of the huts, set slightly back from the others, is decorated with glyphs and strange symbols. A terrible smell emanates from its doorway. This is the hut of Chief Mage. He has been preparing your spellbook for days, reading star charts to work out which spells will be available to you in different locations in the hills and beyond. Go inside. You lift the flap and go inside. The mage looks up at you with haggard, sleepless eyes and presses the book into your hands. Jesus Christ, do you understand how to use this? He asks. Tell me. Each spell is crafted through the alignment of 3 stars, he begins. The spell Zap, for example, is made by aligning Zarathustra, Aegis, and Pini. But that is not important. What matters is what the spell is called and what it does. Zap will give you control over lightning. Hot will create a fireball. Foff will create a force field around you. Shall I continue? Tell me more. The mage nods. The law spell was formed with Lilith, Aegis, and Wex, and it allows you to control the will of unintelligent creatures. The wall spell is quite different and uses different stars. The order matters, you see. Wall creates an invisible barrier. You will find the rest in the book. He adds, tapping the leather-bound volume. I want to know more. The mage looks surprised. Well, the Dop spell is useful for locks. Walk will shield you in battle, and Dumb will cause clumsiness. He scratches absently at his ear. Remember, some spells will cost you effort to use, but the ones that don't will not work without a focus, an item of some kind. You will need to read the book to know that. Research magic using spellbook button on the map. Sorcery. This volume contains the 48 spells of the High Craft as discovered and passed down from generation to generation of sorcerers from the earliest days of the Eastern world. Each spell is formed of 3 letters, and each spell will take energy to cast, which I'm guessing is stamina. Furthermore, some spells will fail without the use of a particular item or focus. Okay. Oh! Lightning for okay, cool. All spells are extremely tiring and will cost you 3 points of stamina. More economical versions exist, though some rely on the caster owning a particular items of power. Big! Raz. To perform the spell, beeswax is required. Sus. Yeah, I don't think I need to know all this now. Stamina. Let's go buy some rations. Small traders in the settlement supply the Sightmaster warriors with weapons, armor, food, and clothing. You go over with the sergeant to a stall selling flatbreads and cheese. I have a big wok. 2 gold pieces per ration, the owner says. Haggle! Do you know who I am? I am Analan's great hero! You tell him. The man looks uncomfortable. I know that, but I have to feed my family today. Whatever happens to the crown... I'll buy 2 rations. No, I'll buy more. You check your pack. There is room for plenty inside. I'll take 4. I'll take 4. 4 rations is 8 gold pieces, the man says, holding out his hand. Buy them. You hand over your coins, and the man places your rations carefully into your pack. You must be sure you eat every day, or you will suffer, the sergeant tells you, standing at your side. Eating more will give you extra strength, but it is not necessary. Alright, let's go to the training grounds. You walk with the sergeant to the training ground. He wraps the base of his staff in leather. Ready my sword. To begin, the sergeant says, We will practice the stances first. Defend yourself against me. Okay. The Sightmaster is a powerful enemy. By defeating, you will receive the minimum damage from any attack he makes. The Sightmaster Sergeant defends himself as well. The round is a stalemate. Minimum damage from any attack he makes. My next attack will be one of my strongest, he declares. If you can perform a full attack, you may overpower me. But otherwise, you had best defend yourself. Oh! You play a strong attack, overpowering the Sightmaster Sergeant. He bows. You have finished me. Excellent. No stamina lost. Flawless fighting. Okay. You seem to remember the basics, the sergeant says, breathlessly. Good! Another round. Let's keep training. You nod. Ready your guard. Cut! Oh! The Sightmaster is a powerful enemy with... yeah, okay. Defend yourself. The Sightmaster Sergeant attempts a medium attack, but you receive only a small amount of damage. My next attack will be moderate, he says. Well then, fucking thrust! You play a strong attack, overpowering the Sightmaster Sergeant, who tries a weak attack, which has left him exposed. A stronger losing attack will lead to more damage. The enemy's stamina is at the top. If it reaches 0, you've won the fight. Okay. My next attack will be weak, he declares. You will be able to overpower me. Okay. Then. Good. Make a medium attack, overpowering the Sightmaster Sergeant. He bows. You have finished me. Excellent. Alright, let's continue. Good, good, the sergeant says with a smile. Excellent. Another round. Enough training. You shake your head. Very good. The sergeant agrees. But if you wish to bout in earnest, then I warn you, I will not go easy on you. He indicates the wider yard where there is space for true match. Okay. Let's go for a true match then. 2 gold for 1 ration. That's pathway robbery. You head over to the yard to practice a bout of real fighting. The sergeant removes cloth padding from the base of his staff. Unsheath my sword. This time I will not tell you my intentions, he says. You will have to read them for yourself. Be ready. Fucking charge! The sight master bows to you, raises his staff in salute, and takes his position. You feel the weight of your sword, then bring it up to deliver a mighty stroke, like a bell ringer surrounding a gong. The sight master sergeant comes in with his strongest, most forceful attack. You smile as your own blow triumphs and sinks deep. The sight master shakes his head. Not bad. He grunts, clearly weakening. Let's defend. You drop yourself into a crouch. His light blow snails over your head. His eyes follow your shoulders. He is probably about to defend himself. You realize a strong hit would be wasteful now. You hold firm and keep up your defense, and he hangs back and watches you in return. You see his arm grow tense. He is waiting for a strong attack. Fucking thrust! Dead! Time to attack. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash. It is enough to finish him. The sight master throws down his staff. You have me, he declares with a grin. Continue. The sergeant is gasping for breath. He bows to you once more. Excellent, he declares. Few men have ever bested me. You truly are Alaban's best hope. Analand. As he talks, a nearby healer hurries over with a slave, and your health and the sergeant's is quickly restored. Well, let's go on an adventure. You reach the foot of the mighty gate. It is sealed. The sergeant places one hand on the wood. The gate has been locked for some time. The data raiders, he tells you. But you will have no difficulty. The stars in this place allow the DOP spell to be crafted. And he stands back. Cast a spell. Whoa. D-O-P. Open locks and doors. Cast it. Top. You weave the spell. One by one, the great tumblers of the door begin to creak and groan. And then the hinges turn with a noise like hail on the canvas roof. These gates have not been opened since our last champion was lost, the sergeant says. I wish you more luck than he. Perhaps you will even meet him on your travels. If I overtake him, then he is too slow. The sight master nods, peering at something on the horizon. I believe he is returning, but transformed. I hope you do not meet the same fate. He claps you on the shoulder. Together you step into the shadow of the wall. One last word, he declares. When you have the crown, find the highest point you can find. We will be watching. I understand. I will not wish you a safe journey to Care, for the way ahead will not be safe, the sergeant murmurs as he peers into the distance through the open gate. The sight master warriors are selected from birth for their incredible powers of telescopic vision. You cannot help but wonder how far he can see. Tell me what lies ahead. This path leads to the first Cantopini, oh my god. This path leads to the first Cantopini, a settlement of traders, though most are rogues and thieves. You should be there before the sun has reached its peak. From there, 3 routes lead on to Christiati, but no single route is safe. Kakabad is a land of devils. And beyond care? I cannot see so far, he says. But once you have crossed the city port of traps, you will enter the backlands. They say that day and night there are controlled by forces other than the sun. And from Care too, your progress will be watched. It is time to go. You thank him. You pass through the gate. The faces of the folk watching your departure reveal the hopes that rest on you and your quest. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes in shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead. Awesome. Well, here we are, starting our journey. Dadulay. I need to get to Care. So what route can I take? I gotta go either way, my path leads to this. That's one loud fucking bird. Whoa! Let us begin. Into Kakabad. The path winds through the slopes of the wind scrubland. The countryside is deserted, and the eerie silence is broken only by the cawing of the occasional crow. There is a spell for hearing what they say, but you do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air to examine you as they pass. Stupid creatures. They pose no threat, so you ignore them. Barely an hour beyond the wall, and the air begins to grow foul. The Shamunati hills are infested with the pestilence of the backlands. It saps the energy from your body, leaving you feeling nauseous and weak. Keep walking. It is not surprise. They warned you of this. You will grow accustomed to it the longer you are out here. But for the moment, you must be very careful. Your maximum stamina has just decreased. You can see your stamina at the top of the screen. It reaches 0. You'll be too tired to carry on. Stamina will be regained up to the maximum by eating rations or resting. I feel as if we should just continue along the path. Another hour passes and you crest a small hillock, from the top of which you can see a path continuing downwards into a small settlement of huts. This must be Kantapani. Look at the village. From this distance, it's hard to make out much about the town, except that it must be desperately poor. The fields on either side are brown with the caked mud, and a few penned animals are thin and wheeze like thirsty vines. No wonder the Sightmaster warriors don't trouble themselves to protect this place. There is nothing here to protect. I want to avoid the village, but didn't he say that this place was like full of thieves? I don't want to get robbed, dude. I really don't. On the other hand, I want to go to the scanner mines. So let's go to the town. Of course, if you were scared of a town like Kantapani, then you could not hope to survive in Kakabad proper. You follow the path down into town. The round huts are made of hard-baked, bright clay, and the roofs are thinly thatched. As you pass, eyes appear at dark doorways, tracking your every move. For a moment, it seems like this will be all you see of the town's inhabitants. But then a villager appears from one of the dwelling sign blocks your path. Look at him. He is 5 feet tall. Tiny little fucker. They cannot grow much taller out here in this poisonous air. He has a thick set arms and thighs and half-clothed and tattered breeches. What the fuck is that? And tattered breeches. His eyes are wild, and his long red hair and beard stand out from his face in a wiry tangle. I don't know. Halt, stranger, he commands. What business have you in Katapani? Push him aside. You push him roughly backwards into the dirt. He yelps in alarm, then scrambles back into his hut. For a moment you tense, expecting the villagers to emerge armed, but instead there is nothing. It is as if the whole place were home to nothing but ghosts. Well, that is all they will be in the crown if it is not recovered. You stride on into the very center of the village. There are a few larger houses here. Even Katapani has its nobility, it seems. But the only spot of interest is a small inn offering food for sale. Jesus Christ, these words are fucked up. I'm good on stamina, let's go. Pass it by. The tavern is not worth your time. It is too poor and meager to offer much hospitality. You head out into Kandapali along the path into Shamunati Hills. Jesus Christ, these fucking names are so hard to read. Striding past the outlying huts, you send the villagers rushing indoors to hide. Then at the edge of town, you pass a large boulder, and at once 2 rough-cut villagers spring out with swords drawn. Bandits! 2 against 1, the first declares. You are lost, calls the other. So hand over your things, come on! Deal with the cares. You draw yourself to your full height. You have mistaken me for someone else, you declare. You will suffer for that mistake. The bandits growl and advance on you, 1 on either hand. Can I cast Zap? Can I cast Zap, please? Is there a Z around here? Fight! Fuck. The first bandit closes on you, cackling and grinning. Time to put this creature in its place. Charge! You should have made things easier for yourself. The bandit goads and launches forward with his sword. You go straight for his throat, knocking him back hard. The smile on his face splits into cry. The bandit stops and coughs up blood onto the earth. Defend. You drop back, raising your sword to protect your body. He comes at you regardless. You toss his heavy blow aside, leaving him taunting. You are safe. The bandit grips tightens onto his sword. Defend. You stay low like a fool. He tries to cut your head from your shoulder. You flick his blade away. 5. Enough of this. You aim a savage blow at his heart. The bandit gasps his last at you run. The bandit gasps his last as you run him through. Continue. A second bandit takes one look at his dead colleague and turns and makes a run for it. Chase him! You immediately give chase. He will not get away so easily after trying to rob you. After a few minutes of scrambling between rocks, you have him cornered. You draw your sword and grin mercilessly. The second bandit cries out, but is ready to fight if he must. The death of his friend seems to send the second bandit flying into rage. He starts to scream wildly as he hurtles forward. You raise your own sword for a brutal attack and knock him to the floor. The bandit can barely find his balance. The bandit shifts his grip on the sword. Cut! Dead! You keep up the pressure. Grabbing a nearby branch, you swing it at his head. And he reels. You lash out your blade. Your strike is more than the bandit can take. He falls to the ground, quite dead. Flawless fighting. The fight is over. You clean your weapon and regain your breath. Search the fucking bodies. You search through the bandits' pockets and find nothing, not even a single gold piece. Their clothing is ragged and rough, worse than animals. You leave their bodies for the beasts to pick clean and set off again. After about a half an hour, the way becomes an uphill incline. Climb the hill. Leaving Kapani behind marks the true start of wilderness. Beyond that tiny outpost, there are scattered homesteads and Care, a thriving city port, but all are touched by cruelty, isolation, and fear. The backlands and the long shadow cast a maping fortress, darken everything. And with the crown gone, and the crown stolen, things can slowly grow worse. In the long years since Kalana, the reformer, founded the alliance, the crown has been passed from kingdom to kingdom, every 4 years, ensuring each one has its turn to lead, but no more. Ruddlestone, Lundeland, Galtaransa, and Bryce have all enjoyed its power, but not Alaland. Analand. But when the crown came to Analand, it was stolen by birdmen from Examen and carried off to the Maping. With the crown, the Archmage will be unstoppably powerful. There is no chance of sending an army against him. A military force would not survive the journey. So here you are, a lone hero, walking the long path to a Maping alone. 5 minutes later, you reach the fork in a road. The sergeant, for all his eyesight, hadn't mentioned this. Okay, so basically the crown was stolen. And what is this crown like? What does this crown do if it's so powerful? And the Archmage stole it. The road splits around the base of a gigantic tree, but does not rejoin on the other side. The left path winds down into a valley, and the right rises up a slope towards the first thick forest of the hills. Choose a path. You're about to make your choice when you hear a faint cry somewhere close at hand. Look around. You look around, then finally up into the branches of the tree. A pair of winced, calloused feet are dangling down over your head, about to drop on you perhaps. Throw something into the tree. Whoa. Casting about a 4 decent-sized rock. Casting about a 4 decent-sized rock, you settle on one and then turn and lob it into the tree. You aim carefully for your target, a wiry old man who looks as thin as and bedraggled as a winter shrub. The stone strikes him and he cries out as he almost topples from the branch. "Oi!" he cries. "You almost had me out. Had me eye out." This man is ugly. Apologize. "I'm sorry," you reply. "I thought you were an attacker." "Me?" He laughs at you. "I'd crack me thumb if I tried to squash a woodhouse. Now, will you help me down the slow way, too, if you don't mind?" What are you hiding from? How the old man got up the tree is a puzzle. He looks too frail to lift his own weight. "What are you hiding from?" you cry. "Damned Alvins," he replies. "I were traveling from Dops to Yapo settlement in Analand, but I were waylaid by Alvins, rod me blind. All but took my eyes and left me up in the tree. I keep getting older, you see. We all do, but some worse than others. Climbed up, but now I'm too old to get down. Help him out of the tree." "No! No!" "Steady now, but But where are you going? The old man yelps pitifully. Can't you see? I'm stuck up here. You ignore the question. Of course you can see. You simply do not care. You must move on. The light is fading already. God damn it. I wanted to let him down. Can I... Oh, do you wish to rewind the story to your current location? Yes. Okay. Choose a path. And then, look around. Legs. Throw something into the tree. We're picking the exact choices we picked. Apologize. What are you hiding from? Help him out of the tree. Swinging yourself onto the lowest branch of the tree, you reach up and grab the old man by the waist. He is as light as a leaf, and within a moment you have lifted him to the ground. Thanks for that, he remarks, brushing himself down and almost knocking himself over in the process. I was just starting to get a bit, fucking whatever, but I am on the safe now. He seems remarkably confident, considering that the slightest stumble might break him into bits. What will you do now? Keep going for on, he says. That's where I'm set off from. I'm all back now. You wouldn't believe the story if I told you. Suffice to say, though, if I know my eyes from my eyes, you're heading out to Mamping, and you better be smarter than I was. He presses onto a page in your hand. It is a page torn from a spell book. This might be of some use to you. I found this. Just found it. And don't go asking how, but it's no good to me anymore. Look at the page. You look at the page over suspiciously. It seems to be half of a spell, CA. That might have been used for pest repulsion, but it's unworkable in its current state. Keep it, why not? You take the page and put it into your pack. The man falls quiet and squats down on the ground. With his jabbering done, you hear a buzzing sound from high up in the tree. A beehive. I gotta get that honey for one of the spells. Climb up and investigate. Leaving the old man sighing with gratitude on the ground, you climb up through the branches of the tall tree. Get the beehive. The beehive hangs like a ripe fruit from the very highest branch. A huge number of bees dancing out in the swarm. Ooh, climb higher. You climb up into the branches. The bees are quick to attack. You cannot brush them away as your hands are clinging onto the tree so you're stung on your arms, head, and neck. Looks nasty, old man remarks. Keep climbing for the hive. But you aren't going to let some bee stop you. You climb higher, sustaining a few more stings before you reach the hive and knock it to the ground. Dropping quickly down again, you cut it open and remove a lump of wax and enough honeycomb for one meal. You stash your finds in your pack. The light is fading. It's time to move on. Oh! The man cries suddenly. Do you want to hear me riddle? I heard from the ovens. Hear him out. So you gesture with a hand for him to speak. See him, though he sees you not. A stinging beast is a box not left. To guard a key, it is his lot. To gow a witch of luck perfect. It is nonsense. Clearly, you nod once and then turn your attention to the path ahead. What does this riddle mean? See him, though he sees you not. A stinging beast in a box not left. To guard a key, it is his lot. I have no idea. We're going the high path. The high route seems the most secure. In a valley you can easily observe from above and led astray. But out in the hills But out in the hills you can go whichever way you choose. Of course, when night falls, it may be cold and exposed up on the slopes. But no matter. This journey was never destined to be easy. You began the climb, letting the old man's jabbering fade quickly away. Jesus Christ, that dude's still fucking talking? The path winds upwards into the hills and into the cover of a wood. The afternoon sun glints through the trees and plays tricks on your eyes. Every so often you catch a glimpse of some strange shaped animal or other watching you. What is up with this fucking text? Only to find that it is a silhouette of branches and leaves caught at an odd angle. After hours walking, whatever. Hours you walk are starting to feel hungry. Let's stop and eat. You clamber to the top of a low stone dolmen, then sit and pull out a sugary honeycomb and eat while you're admiring the view of the hillside through the break in the trees. You feel better for your rest. Time to move on. Time to move on. You stand and put on your pack, on which you had been sitting to prevent any creatures getting in, or any of your things falling out. Then you return to the path. The climb continues. With the path twisting this way and that, the air grows cold and the sun flickers on the horizon and then sets, making it hard to see your way. But the moon is full and the twilight is done. It will be bright once more. So we just keep going. Should I make camp? Because we're about to go in some woods, right? We should probably make camp. Let's make camp. But to tire yourself out on the first day would be inconspicuous. You settle down and make for... Oh my god, dude. I'm the most stupidest fucking streamer in the world. You settle down and make a camp for the night in a natural shelter provided by the roots of the trees, gigantic intertwined trees. Your backpack will serve for a pillow and your cloak for a blanket. Before settling to sleep, you check through your pack. You have 4 rations left. Settle down to sleep. I just fucking ate, so. You lay yourself out on the ground and are quickly asleep. The moon is full and high in the sky when you next open your eyes. You feel warm and more cozy than you did before, as if wrapped in a gigantic blanket. There is a pain in your leg. Slowly you realize what is happening. A giant bat has settled on your chest and is feeding on your leg. Kill the fucking bat! You draw your sword slowly and carefully, hoping not to disturb the creature before you can run it through. But no such luck. It leaps back in alarm. Charge! The bat's great wings buffet at your face, making it hard to see. You swing out wildly, hoping to chop it from the sky as the bat dodges back, cutting with the hooks on its wingtips. The giant bat tumbles backwards into the tree. In a crash of branches, the creature's eyes glow fierce, maddening red. Ooh, defend. You drop into a crouch. The giant bat comes at you ferociously, but you push the blow away. It drops to the ground, wings folded. Fuck! You wait for the creature's wide wings to open, and then you strike, pushing off the tree behind you. You thrust forward, but the giant bat closes its tough wings. The bat is flying erratically now. It flaps its wings threateningly, clearly trying to frighten you. No, then fucking cut it! Another chance follows. Swinging up from the low crouch, you aim for the beast's heart. The bat falls to the ground, and the light in its eyes goes dark. Continue. The bat dead, you toss its carcass back into the woods, and now are truly exhausted. You lie back, sleep. Once again, the crown fills your dreams. Only now, instead of being hidden away in the Maping Fortress by the Archmage, you see it on the head of the burly villager from Canopy. Anyone can wear the crown, he declares to you. But wearing the crown, you are no longer just anyone. And then he points a finger at you that seems to crackle with energy, and you find yourself drawn towards him, commanded to do his bidding. Suddenly, you are surrounded by angry bees. Oh! You are walking towards a crack in the ground. It seems sure to swallow you whole. You stumble at its edge, about to fall. What a weird dream. The next morning. The second day of your journey begins in the morning cool, still halfway beaten, sleeping and walking. Sleeping and waking, you feel the presence of your spirit, the cougar, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Analan, just as you have changed, but it's still pacing beside you. In the temple, they taught you that prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, and even save you from certain death. But the spirits are not generous and decline to help often. You can ask the spirits' aid by using the prayer button. You can feel yourself getting accustomed to the fetid air of the hills. You have now ascended several hundred feet and can expect to make excellent progress before the end of the day. As you crest the brow of the hill, you see something that makes you stop in your tracks. Your left is a clearing, and in the clearing are several poles planted firmly into the ground. And at the top pole, is a head. Huh, look at the heads. The heads are all kinds and ages. Some are recently fixed, while others have decayed, and some are nothing but skulls and hair. There are human heads, goblin heads, and one or two heads of creatures you do not recognize. All have sewn up eyes and mouths. A large X painted on a rock nearby is obviously intended as a warning not to venture any further, but ahead the road forks left and right, and you cannot be sure which path you are warned not to take. The right-handed path continues to climb, and the left-handed path winds down the side of the hill. We're making that climb. But first, let us pray. Spirit is the cougar. The cougar is a passionless, a creature of heat and sun, whose every breath is calm and quiet. The cougar does not hunt, but waits for his prey to wander beneath his claws. Pray for healing. Oh, your spirit has heard you. You will receive further help for some time. You are on your own. The climb continues up the next hill for several hours until you are not far from the top. Then the faint sound of bustling activity reaches you. Tramping feet, grunting voices, and the clanking of metal against rock. There is something ahead, hidden by ancient trees that line these slopes. Follow the sound. You leave the path and continue through the woods. A short distance onwards, you hide behind a tree and survey a clearing. A number of goblins are in the clearing, working at the mouth of an open cave. They trudge in and out of the opening, carrying large bowls in their arms, piled up with glistening rocks. A dull, metallic nuggets treasure. Make a break for the cave entrance. You crept closer, moving around the side of the hill, nearer the entrance to the cave. Then, when all is quiet, you seize your chance and race across the clearing to the mouth of the cave. You pause a moment at the cave mouth, but no one has seen you. Following the passage cautiously, you move between the cool rock walls of the mine, passing and ignoring Ladders that lead down into the clamoring heart of the mine where 100 goblets sing as they work. Eventually you reach a junction. Uh-oh. Let's go right. You follow the passage to the right. It twists around deeper into the hillside and ends in a sealed wooden door. Try the door. You try the door. Locked. Cast a spell. Wait. I need my spell book. What is the spell for locks? Open locks and doors. Stop. Cast. Stop! You cast the spell. The door shudders as its lock turns over, and then the handle moves of its own accord. On your guard, you watch as it swings open. The room beyond is large and appears to be a storeroom of some kind. In one corner is a pile of black rocks, and more rocks are held in a bucket nearby. These flicker with dull, glistening light. But most intriguing of all is that what stands in the center of the space, a mechanical apparatus, perhaps a press or a stone cutter, being operated by a large and powerful ogre. He does not for the moment seem to have noticed you. Should I fuck with this guy? Approach him. Boldly step out of the doorway and into the pool of candlelight that fills the room. The ogre stops working immediately and turns to face you, growling fiercely like the monster he is. You will not be able to reason with him. Draw your sword. Cast a spell. It's an ogre. They're stupid, right? It's not walk. What is the spell for? Oh shit. Nothing with K. Is it dumb? I should have read more of it. That's not it either. I'm fucked. Draw the sword. The ogre lifts a giant hammer and stomps towards you. Charge! You bastard! For a huge beast, the ogre moves with surprising speed. Its hammer swings up like an executioner's sword. Taking a chance, you levy your sword for its thick neck. It raises its hammer again, so large it could just as well be behind a rock. It is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. Oh, you drop down, protecting yourself just in time. The ogre raises his hammer above its head and attempts to crush you in a single blow. You are just in time to dodge to one side. You are largely unhurt. Its deep-set, stupid eyes are watching you closely, not wanting to take a risk. Stay low as the ogre jabs its hammer. Okay. Stealing your courage, you move in, aiming to trap the ogre against the cave wall. Moving swiftly, you aim for its heart. It turns away, as though not seeing the blow would stop it landing. But then you see its hide is like tough leather, and you can barely scratch it. This thing's pretty tough. Oh shit. He got me for my foams. You attempt to attack and suffer for it. The ogre lashes out with its hammer, almost taking the top off your head clean off. Your own weak thrust is knocked aside. Its evil dark eyes follow your movements. Taking a chance, you move forwards, readying a forceful blow. Your hurtle forwards. The ogre steps awkwardly aside. The ogre stumbles suddenly, crashing into the machine, which almost buckles under it, the weight. Expecting a storm, you raise your guard. The ogre hefts its hammer high and tries to squash you in a single stroke. You are only just quick enough to avoid it. It raises its hammer up across its body defensively. You stay down. The ogre watches you stupidly in return. It grumbles and groans. Readying yourself, you move in, preparing a heavy swing. You charge for your opponent. Then you swing again, and the sword cleaves into the ogre's side. He gurgles unhappily and slumps to the floor. You breathe a sigh of relief. You are alive. While the dying ogre heaves its last breath, you investigate the room. Search the table. You look through the heaps of rocks on the table to see if any catch your eye, but they all seem fairly ordinary. Search the corners of the room. Moving to the corners of the room, you do a careful sweep. After a few minutes, you come across something soot-covered but solid. Wiping it with your tunic, you find a large gem, an emerald about the size of your fist. It should be good for trade around a value of 10 gold pieces. You place it carefully into your bag. Nice! Going over to the enormous machine, you try cranking the handle to see what happens, but you simply do not have enough strength to make it move. Following the tubes and chutes of the machine, you discover a second larger gem, which you take. You search the room thoroughly now. It's time to be going before someone comes and finds the ogre. You head back to the fork passage. The sunlight from outside is very tempting. Well, we're not. We're going to the left fork. The passageway continues until you reach a large stone-cut door blocking your way forwards for a mine. This place seems well built up. Perhaps it will serve as camp if war comes. Try the door handle. You try the... Oh, shit. You try the door. Fuck. You try the door. It opens. The room is beyond dirty. Beyond is dirty with soot from the mines. So it could almost be pit filled with night itself, with crystals in the rock for stars. In the far wall, you can just make out another door leading into a deeper mine. But the middle of the room is a table, at which a large filthy goblin is sitting. He raises his head at you. Enter the smells. And smells the air. You smell it strange. You smell is strange intruder. He challenges you. You are not permitted here! I choose my own way. You growl. Do you? Let me help you make your choice. The goblin rises to its feet. In his hand, he holds a large stone club. Engage. Charge! Damn. The goblin beats its club into its open palm and paces towards you. Boldly, you swing your sword for his thick neck as he throws his club with full force towards your skull. The goblin staggers suddenly. You have hurt him more than perhaps you thought. Cautious but angry, he stomps the ground with one enormous foot growling. We're gonna defend. You drop down, protecting yourself as the goblin swipes its terrible club. You throw yourself to the wall. You are mostly unhurt. He raises his club across his body defensively. Defend too. Cool. You stay low. The goblin watches you stupidly in return. He lifts his body. Fucking thrust! Die, you fuck! Stealing your courage, you move in, aiming to trap the goblin against the cave wall. Readying a forceful blow, you hurtle forwards. He flicks your swing neatly away with his club. With only light injury, the goblin's eyes are bloodshot, and he is groaning as he moves. He growls at you. 3.5, side sweep. Ah, fuck you. You attempt an attack and suffer for it. The goblin raises its hefty club and brings it. Fuck. You are caught off balance. When you're dead, I'll toss you into the lowest mine for the grubs. Defend. His narrowing eyes watches you closely, not wanting to take a risk. I'm dead. Fuck! Try again. Obviously, we're gonna go charge. Die, you bastard. I killed him. Drop down. Stealing your courage, you move in, aiming at the goblin. Okay, he's dead. With the goblin defeated, there is nothing to stop you from moving further into the mine. Search the room first. Before you move on, you quickly scour the corners of the dark room, and in case there is any gold or weapons lying around. You find nothing until you search the goblin himself. He's wearing a silver key on the chain around his neck. You lift it away. Now go onwards. Time to see what the more the mine has left to offer. Can I eat my rations? Eat 2 rations. Alright. Further into the mine. You open the door onto a pitch black passageway. Grope through the darkness. You push into the depths of the mine. Dust falls from the low ceiling. Your hand moves over the precarious wooden beams that hold the walls from tumbling in. Then you stumble, foot catching a support. The support cracks. A piece of rock the size of your head tumbles through a gap in the ceiling, narrowly missing your skull. A rain of stone and dust follows. Push on ahead and avoid falling rocks. You are gripped by an insane idea, racing into the darkness of an unknown mine as the only exit is sealed off behind you. Do it! The crashing shaft behind you lends you speed, then suddenly you gasp as your foot falls to touch the ground below. I'm falling! You begin to drop. There can only be moments. Fuck. What do I do? I don't know any spells that will make me... Oh, wait. No! The impact is hard. Fuck! Can I rewind? Yes, you open the door back the other way. Grope through the darkness. Continue. Wait a minute. Grope through the darkness. Ceilings falling apart. Push on ahead and avoid the falling rocks. Do it. I'm falling. cast a spell. What's that protection spell? Walk. What the fuck's the protection spell? It's like Foff? Walk, Foff? F-A-L. Requires 1 stamina. Fall. Float in air. You cast a spell and your fall is broken instantly. You float gently to the ground below, landing softly on your knees. Hell yeah. Hell yes. The base of a pit. You pick yourself up and look around. You are at the base of a deep shaft. It is hard to be sure how far you've fallen, but the top is lost in darkness. Still, it's not pitch black down here. A chink of light penetrates from somewhere far away, a crack nearby, or a tunnel mouth a long way off. You cannot tell. Start walking. Calmly and without delay, you start to walk towards the point of light. It gets larger, but slowly your hopes lift with every step. It's definitely a way out. You can see a sky beyond. Your hands are running along the tunnel walls to keep you straight. Then the ceiling comes down and you crawl for a few feet. Then you freeze. Your hand is resting on something furry. Pull back. You pull back for a moment to see if the furry shape will move, but it stays still. Asleep or dead? At any rate, you cannot turn around and go another way. There is no other way to go. Creep past the thing. With your heart in your mouth, you creep past the thing, pressing yourself against one side of the tunnel. Inch by inch, you make progress, hoping the thing will not be disturbed. It does not seem to notice your movement, and you manage to get past it. In fact, it hasn't moved at all. Perhaps it's dead. It's not making any noise. Grasp it. You reach out with a thinking that whatever it is, it's at least small. Your grip closes on the thing. It's not warm. It's a good sign, and it squashes easily as if bones had been turned into jelly. You pull it closer to yourself. You realize you're holding a pair of fur boots. You laugh with relief and quickly scramble the rest of the way along the tunnel to the sunlight. It's an opening. Is there like a light spell? Law! That's the spell I wanted to know earlier. Stop. Res. Sus. Jesus, so I need to remember all that. Let's climb out. The climb out of the cave takes several hours, but it's worth every moment when you emerge into cool, fresh air once more. You have escaped with your life. Take a moment and examine the boots. You turn to the boots over in your hands. You recognize the fur. It's boring skin. They will be very useful if you head through a snowy climbs. Then it is time to get moving. You set off once more, looking for a path to get your bearings into the trees. I really fucking wish I knew where that key led to. Okay, so let's see if that key was anything. I'm going to search this up. Silver key. In the mines. The key can be used to open the door in the ogre's room in the same mine it is found in. Oh. Okay, so the door that I unlocked for the ogre, that was the door to open that. Okay, cool. Further on. The path climbs again up a low hill covered over with thick brushes and shrubs, but snag at your clothing. Halfway up, you hear a sound of twigs breaking. Keep walking. You keep striding forward, then suddenly a large creature the size of a bear emerges directly in front of you. It has black and white fur and a long bushy tail that trails out behind you. It growls menacingly. It's a kitty. It's a little kitty. Look at that little kitty. Prepare to attack. You will not be able to avoid the confrontation. The creature is a skunk bear, and when it raises its tail, it releases a nauseating odor. The smell that hangs around it is terrible. It's a bear-skunk hybrid? Fuck's sake. What a terrible day. Draw your sword. This thing's gonna come at me full speed, so I'm gonna go at it full speed. Oh, what? The creature has two main weapons, its long claws and its terrible smell. Killing it quickly will be your best chance to avoid losing your last meal. Swing your sword in a mighty arc, but the skunk bear, for all its growling, is afraid of you. It rears up and waits, trying to stay out of reach. It grunts as it pushes you away, clearly afraid of you. It rears back and its claws raised. Defend. Warily, you move into defensive crouch. The skunk bear growls and grunts at you. It squeaks and sniffles, standing up onto its hind legs. 4.6. Holy shit! The skunk bear whips out its savage claws. And from somewhere, you issue. Okay. Drops to all fours. I'm dead. That skunk bear is no joke, man. Damn, it's fucking me up. I fucked it up there. I killed it. Awesome. Standing firm, you swing a mighty blow at the skunk bear. Then your sword finds a soft place in the skunk bear's body. The beast roars and tumbles to the ground, quite dead. Continue. With the creature defeated, you wipe your sword clean and leave this place behind. The path leads down through another valley and back up another hill. 2 hours pass. Cool, bro. Oh, it shows my entire journey. Nice. That's so cool. That's pretty fucking cool. Alright. We have went the long route. I wish I can explore everything, man. The sun is now just past its zenith, and everywhere a dusty heat rises from the baked earth. You are worn out, almost to the point of physical collapse. You need food and rest, and no more trouble. Today has been too punishing already. You begin to think about where you will stay for the night. Another night sleeping out in the open would be best avoided. But then you see a small village set into the hill. Move on. You continue your slow trudge along path. You walk into the village. Young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. Ignore them. These people are unimportant. If your mission fails, they will not survive long. But they cannot strive long out here regardless. Talk at the alehouse. Walking down the single road, you quickly find a hut with its front covering pulled wide open and the smell of brewed beer coming from inside. You go in. Several hill dwellers are here, talking gruffly. When you enter, they watch you with animal-like suspicion. This person's fucked up. Oh, I had one too many beers. It's got a bone in the hair. I need some water. This game requires me to read, and it's drying out my throat. Jeez Louise. The owner of the hut comes over to you. Welcome to Christiani, he declares. What do you want? Greet the owner. Give me whatever you have, you reply. Is one gold piece, he answers. Please sit. You go over to the table where the hill dwellers are. I'll sit with the oldest man. You turn your attention to the oldest man at the table. Whatever face he once had is lost in the labyrinth of wrinkles, and his skin is the color of tanned hide from a lifetime of the beating sun. Greetings, old man. Greetings, old man. He raises his mug in salute. Stranger. His face gravely, like the dusty dirt that lines the streets of his town. Where are you from? I'm from Analand. He nods. Not many as cross, though, as the Canalope Gate, in either direction, if you know what I'm saying. I understand you. He grins and picks his teeth with a fingernail. They say there's a war coming. Something to do with the crown. I seek that crown. Is that so? He replies. Well, from what I hear, you've got a long journey to go find it. The birdmen took it all the way to Mamping. You are very well informed. The man shrugs. I would be if I knew where the Backlands mapping was, but I don't know much outside my own town's hilltop. You sip your beer. The old man exchanges glances with the younger man sitting opposite. Ask the old man about the area. Can you tell me something about the region? You ask. Christiani? Certainly. I'll tell you that around here, we're always glad to help out strangers. Tell me what lies beyond this town. Beyond Christ, there are two paths, he says. One takes you past Alania's house, and you will need your wits about you if she's there. The other leads you up into the hills of Layaki, dominion of the Great Ones. Either way you choose, I wish you luck of Sindla on your journey. I thank you. The man nods. Fat lot of good, my good wishes will do you if someone tries to split your skull, he observes. The crowd in the inn is starting to thin out. You finish your beer in a single draught and get to your feet. You make to leave the inn. The owner stops you, holding out his hand. Pay him 1 gold piece. You look this way. You pay him 1 gold piece and step out into the street. You look this way and that, trying to decide what to do next, when you realize the old man has joined you once more. He grabs your shoulder and presses a fruit into your hand. Bomba, he declares. Though a fermented breath, I grow them myself. Good for the stomach. He pets your belly and walks away, swaying slightly. Look at the fruit. You turn to the old man's gift over in your hands. It's a thick rind fruit that keeps well and will be highly nourishing when you decide to eat it. Its only drawback is its incredible weight. It is now evening and time to sleep. I'm gonna sleep at the inn. The village is small enough that you find an inn. Simply by walking around, the woman who runs the place stands in the doorway with her arms folded. Are you from the king? She demands. I am on a mission for the king. Taxes, she replies quickly. No. The woman narrows her eyes at you. This is a guest house, the best in Christiani. The only guests stay. Only guests. Oh my God! Only guests stay, and any guest of mine knows it. It costs me 3 gold pieces to host a man overnight, and 2 to feed him. But it's all between friends. I'll go elsewhere. She shrugs, not appearing too upset of your decision. You creep off into the edge of the village. We're going to sleep outside. The cover of the forest is dark, and the ground is thick with fallen branches, mud, and briar. You walk for nearly an hour more. Then you press a large tree atop of a great fist curling roots. It's a perfect spot to sleep. I'm going to sleep without eating. You forego eating. You settle down to sleep. It will not be uninterrupted night out here under the stars surrounded by beasts, but you will still feel a little better for it. Your dreams are vivid once again. You are walking endlessly, the hills moving up and down under your feet like a rippling sea. Every step exhausts you, but no steps moves you forwards. Meanwhile, a tall black creature strides towards you, wreathed in a foul-smelling smoke, and in the distance a deep voice is booming with laughter. The long, cruel fingers of one hand are curled around the metal frame of a crown, and the other, he beckons you forward as if into a trap. I could just rewind this whole story. That's cool. You wake early and sit for a moment, in no great hurry to leave this place where you have lingered so long. This is now the 3rd day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then unhurriedly collect your possessions and set off along the path. Christiani is surrounded by several miles of fields. A filthy town is set into a bowl of mud. As you follow the path between lines of a sun-baked crops, you come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of outbuildings, while the left leads directly off into the deep woodland. Well, this place looks shitty. Let's go to the forest. Your journey is too important to slow down by talking to locals. You must pass unseen, and so you disappear into the jungle of tall trees. For a short while, the sun is feverish, and then you are between the trees once more, and everything becomes cool and still. You walk for several hours, uneventfully. This is land that was never settled or explored, and very few travel this way. In places, bushes and shrubs have grown over into the path. Move cautiously. You pick your way carefully forward, moving slowly but silently between trees. If there are any beasts nearby, you should be able to wring their necks without them hearing you approach. Then you come to a fork in a road, still deep in the forest. Someone has thought to make a sign, perhaps a guide, or perhaps a warning. The way to the right is marked for Dumpus. A left turn points to Alemia, a name you remember from what the man in Christiani told you. Neither way seems the better trod. You will have to choose. Let's go to Alania. path winds between trees to get greener and more lush. You must be closer to the river here, although you cannot hear the water. After about half an hour's walk through dappled shade, you come across a well-built hut. Flowers decorate its walls, and the door has been painted with ornate designs. The path ends here. Knock on the door. You approach the door and knock. There is no reply. Scout around. You perform a swift circuit around the hut, but find nothing unusual or concerning. It seems to be what it is, a hut set by itself deep in the forest. But for someone trying to survive out here on their own, surrounded by the beasts of the jungle, it must be someone quite powerful. Open the door. You push the door open and stride inside. The hut is neatly laid out. You detect the touch of a fastidious woman. Chairs are set around a table as it for guests. A mattress lies in one corner, and a large kitchen area indicates that whoever lives here, they are fond of cooking. Call out. Hello? Is anybody here? To your surprise, a voice answers quickly. Who's there? Who's that? Locate the speaker. Looking into a corner hidden by a large cupboard, you see a cage in which a young woman is imprisoned. Good stranger, she pleads. Let me out of this cage, I beg you. What happened to you? You move over to the cage. What happened to you? Oh, good stranger, she wails. I have been locked up here for 2 days. It was Elvins that did it. Those mischievous, prankful Elvins. Please, you must help me. I have not eaten, and they left me here, where I can see all my cooking things, but cannot reach them. I'll help you. Going over to the cage, you try the door. It's locked, of course. You draw... I'm breaking this lock. I'm not using magic. You draw your sword, placing the tip against the lock. You attempt to pry it open. The lock is hard and rusted. In your first attempt, force it fails, succeeding only by permanently damaging the edge of your sword. Another try will surely weaken it further. The woman looks at you with despair in her eyes. Please, she begs you, try once more. Try again. It's a hard decision. Your weapon is your survival, but finally you nod your head. Very well, I will try once. You feel her willing you to succeed as you place the blade against the lock and stand back to try to lever it free. Open the lock. You will it to snap. The blade bends. The metal bands off the lock strain. Then snap! The lock comes cleanly away. The woman clasps her hands in delight, and with the door open, she rushes out and throws her arms around you, before backing off a pace and trying to regain her composure. Stranger, she declares, I am in your debt. Elenia will reward you. Will you take an aid in combat or mastery of magic? Huh. What a tough decision. This is quite a tough decision. I need no reward beyond a kiss. Combat. Very good. She lifts the hem of her dress and removes a bracelet from around her ankle. This is Registrar's armband of swords mastery, she declares. Wear it, and it will bring you great skill to your sword and arm, with my blessing. Accept it, of course. With a nod, you accept the armband and place it onto your right arm. The effect is immediate. You feel your muscles strengthening and growing powerful. The lady has been freed. It seems like there is nothing much more to keep you here from quest. Ask if I may eat. May I eat my own food here? She nods, and you settle down at the table and quickly devour the old man's nourishing bamba fruit. She watches you with a simple pleasure. And finally you stand. I must be on my way. You tell her, I have many more miles to cover today. She nods. Of course. Please, before you go. And she holds something out. It's a small bag of gold coins. Take it. You snatch the bag from her. There are 7 gold pieces inside. And one more thing, she says. Moving around the table, she leans up to you and pecks you on the cheek, whispering, I am Melania the Witch, and I have killed a good many men with my sorcery. But I choose not to kill you today. Go in peace. Then she steps back and her face is soft and peaceful as it ever was. Did you imagine her words? Almost certainly not. Time to leave. You step quickly outside. You retrace your steps to the last junction where you turn to take a path to Dumpus. Okay. You walk for several hours following the twists and turns of the path through the trees, then suddenly you stop. You have heard a noise up ahead. Something is moving around between the rocks and the edge of the path. Wait and look. You hang back watching the trees. There's definitely something moving around. Something large and long, with a tail that whips between the trees, but now that you've seen it, you are at definite advantage. Attempt to creep around. The beast is off the path to the right, so you creep through the tree line on the left. You may escape unnoticed. You try this tactic, moving slowly and carefully, making as little noise as possible, placing your feet with delicate care. After a few more yards, you are about to rejoin the path when movement of the animal stops. It must have heard you, or caught your scent, and sure enough, a moment later it is upon you in a flurry of foliage and dirt. A rat bear leaps from the undergrowth. It is much closer than you thought. Its sleek black furs allows it to hide in the shadows until it's almost upon you. Fight. You bring your sword up to the bear. This motherfucker's gonna go at me fucking full force. Die. The rat bear is startled by your approach, but drops quickly to all fours. You will not be intimidated by an overgrown rodent. You plant your feet and ready a mighty sword swing, and at the last moment, the rat bear leaps, all claws off the ground and ready to plunge into your body. You chop it out of the air. You have opened a deep wound in its side. Afraid of you, it rears back, claws raised. Warily, you move into a defensive crouch. The rat bear sniffs around you. Holy shit. You remain hidden, squeaking with rage. The rat bear charges forward, but you keep yourself unguarded. It stumbles back, tail whipped, and high in defense. You edge left around the rat bear, keeping your guard up. It paces, clearing into the edges, claws raised. Charge! You punk-ass bitch. You risk an attack rushing forward. You charge at the rat bear, but it has read your intention and drops into a crouch. Light plays through the trees, and for a moment, the true extent of the rat bear's injuries is revealed. Clearly intimidated, it rears back, tail whipped high in defense. Warily, you move into defensive crouch. The rat bear hisses at you, but does not attack. Cut! You risk an attack, standing firm. You swing a mighty blow at the rat bear, catching it in a light blow. The rat bear screeches in an inhuman howl, and you take heart. It's almost fallen. It squeaks and snuffles, standing up on its hind legs. Defend. You can almost smell the creature growing, enraged, and duck quickly behind a tree. The rat bear launches its front claws aimed at your eyes, but you knock its attack away. For a moment, it's close enough for you to smell its sewer breath. Thrust! Dead. Risk an attack, splashing through the mud. You race into the rat bear. Then your sword slips between the creature's ribs and drives deep into its putrid heart. The rat bear squeals and falls to the ground, face down into the mud. With the beast dead on the path, you are free to move onwards. The path winds a few more times around gigantic trees, thousands of years old, then emerges onto a sudden plain as if the forest had been scooped away by a gigantic hand. A river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by its bank stands a tiny village. We're going into the village. Today has been a short day with few true daggers. With a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start occupatiously. So you begin the gentle climb down into the village. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be Dumpus. The streets are thin and narrow, and the buildings have been set to close together as if they are trying to withstand a storm. There is a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems an unpleasant place. Let's explore the town. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchant huts. You browse for items worth buying with your 22 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. Yo, hold on. Examine the sword. Carefully, you lift the longsword from the table and swing it through the air. It cuts with a finely carved edge. A fine piece of work, I'm sure you agree. The merchant enthuses. 6 gold pieces. Pay 6 gold pieces. You pay him 6 gold pieces and strap the longsword around your waist. Examine the skull cap. Pick up the skull cap and turn it over. Stolen from a priest of Dadulay, the merchant declares with pride. A fine piece of work. 4 gold pieces. Try it on. Place it on your head, but you feel nothing. You take it off again. Pay 4 gold pieces. Pay him 4 gold pieces. You place the skull cap on your sack. Buy provisions. You examine a bag of food. There's about enough to last 3 days. 6 gold pieces, the merchant says with a smile. Good traveler, I am sure. Pay for them. 6 gold pieces. That's a lot of rations. You nod to the merchant. The merchant smiles. Is there anything I could help you with? Is there any work to be had here? If there's any work to be had here, I need to earn some money. The merchant sizes you up. You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he would pay you and feed you for it. Sounds like digging what? Digging what, you ask? The merchant shifts uncomfortably. Doesn't matter. You'll find out. He stares at you. So, he asks. He looks over at his shoulder at the path. I'm going that way now. You coming? Follow the merchant. He leads you to a house on the edge of the village and introduces you to a householder, a stout man who is probably incapable of lifting a spade, let alone digging with it. I'm ready to get started. Spades out back, he replies with a jerk of his thumb. You walk through the man's house into the back garden. The smell is terrible. The job is not just to dig a new cesspit, but to dig over the old one, and it's going to be several hours. Work that will probably take the whole night. You collect the spade and stick the ground on the hole. Start digging. Begin digging a new hole and tipping the earth into the old hole. The ground is hard, and the smell from the pit is enough to make you gag. After you've been working for an hour or so, the owner of the household brings you out something to eat and pays you 3 gold pieces for your efforts. Fucking eat. It is hard to stomach the food with the smell on your hands, and in the yard you are so hungry from the work that you wolf down the bread and soup he provides. Then it's back to work again for the remainder of the night. You are just finishing when the sun comes up. Damn. Sucks. Should I have done that? I mean, I really want to sell my emeralds. I got 2 emeralds. Alright, look, I need I don't need money. I need to sell my shit. Rewind it back to before I fucking did that shit. Pay with the emerald. Hand over the emerald and shove the long sword to your waist. Scam, buy provisions. Pay with emerald. Scam in the skull gap. Pay 4 gold pieces. So I can go to sleep. Think of them. Talk to the villagers. You pass along the main path through the village. Okay, I rewinded to where I bought all this shit. Pause outside a hut in which several of the disheveled hill dwellers are sitting and eating. They seem deep in discussion about something. Several are shaking their fists in the air. Lift them back the canvas flap, you step inside. The hill dwellers stop talking immediately and look up at you. One gets to his feet and gestures you forward. Step forward. You step forward and then one of the others calls something in their native tongue and points at your side. To where your sword hangs out below the hem of your cloak. In broken common tongue, the first man croaks, "No weapons," and he indicates a table by the door where you can leave the blade. Remove my sword. You unfasten your sword belt and leave your weapon at the table. The hill dwellers nod to show their appreciation and then begging you to sit with them. Then they continue their conversation just as animatedly as before, speaking in local tongue that you cannot follow. But they talk. They pour you a drink and provide you with food. They seem quite welcoming. Ask what they're discussing. After you finish eating, you catch the eye of one of the older men and ask slowly in common tongue, "What is it you men are discussing so heatedly?" The man nods back at you. "Christiana," he says, "arming the goblins." Tell him you've been there. I've been to Christiana, you declare. The men nod but do not seem surprised. Slowly you piece together the story. The group seem quite sure that the horde of goblins are planning an attack on Christiana, which apparently is one of the wealthier spots in the hills. They are discussing whether or not it would be worth helping the village to defend itself, which might mean they are offering some kind of reward. You must help them. You declare earnestly, "Christianity, it does not help us." One of the men points out, "They are rich, we are poor." You will place them in your debt. The men nod, swayed by your ruthless logic. "And you? How do you fight?" one man asks. "I will help those that need it." The men nod. "Let the goblins attack tonight," they cheer. "We will use our strength." The evening draws close. The evening draws to a close. The men thank you for your counsel and leave one by one. We're gonna go sleep at an inn tonight. Following the merchant's instructions, you quickly find an inn in the very center of Dumpus. It is a tumble-town building that mats spread across the floor and a kitchen range that fills the air with appealing spicy smell. The man who runs the inn is wiry and looks as if he does not eat a thing himself. 3 gold pieces for the hill fox broth, he tells you, and 3 for a place to rest your head. You've eaten today already, so you're not hungry. Rest. You pay 3 gold pieces, and the man shows you to a mattress in the corner of the room. For a while, you stay awake, wondering if the goblin attacked the villagers. The goblin attacked the villagers feared will come, but it seems the land is quiet tonight. Eventually, you drift off to sleep. You dream strange dreams as you sleep. Your thoughts are dominated by the strange woman in the hut. In your mind, she has become younger and more beautiful than she truly was. Flowers seem to blossom from her hair as though she was grown from the earth herself. Overheard, you fancy you hear the flap of a giant wings. The birdman came for the crown, perhaps, but this journey is finished. They will come for you. All right, with that, I believe we're going to take a little break. I am stuck in my own chair. Hold on. I need to go bathroom. I'll be back. Alright, we are back. Jeez. Alright, let's get back to it, y'all. Wrong screen. Fuck off. Alright. Okay, we got a skull cap, a sword, and and some rust. Is there like, can I just go through the fucking... You rise early, dismiss the attentions of the innkeeper, and head out into the street. Within a few minutes of walking, you are out of Dumpus and back to the road. Another hour or so, the way branches with the one path heading up into the hills and the other turning downhill, and alongside one side of the barren, stony ridge is that of a village you can make out on top of the hill. It seems a lonely place for it. Well, what should I do? Should I go into the village or should I go downhill? Well, that's a long-ass bridge. Ooh, more mines? I think I may go downhill. I think I may go downhill. I like mines. I think our end goal is to get the care today. Honestly, I can't get enough of this game right now. I'm gonna keep streaming this shit. This is fucking fun. Let's go downhill. You follow a meandering path around the side of the hill for most of the morning. It is difficult to see the way ahead through the tree line, but you oh my fucking god. It is difficult to see way ahead through the tree line, but you trust to the course fuck! It is difficult to see the way ahead through the tree line, but you trust to the course, and eventually the path bursts out onto a narrow stone ledge high above the valley floor. The ledge leads left and right. There is no way forwards. Look left. Looking left, you can see that a narrow ledge is formed by the splitting of rock that leads all the way down to the misty valley floor. If there is a path up the other side, it is not clear from here. Look right. Looking right, you are taken aback as out of the mist that fills into the valley, and a possibly wide bridge looms into view, as if it had only now fallen into place. It is made of planks and thick ropes, and is suspended from its peak to the peak on the other side. Who would have built such a marvel, and how long ago? Look at the bridge. You take a moment more staring at the bridge. It forms a delicate curve across the valley, swaying very slightly and wondering when. But the more you look, the more it seems too perfect. Could such a bridge possibly exist? Or is it mere illusion to trick the incautious traveler? Move on. Getting to your feet once more, you take a moment to find your balance before moving on. One slip here and you will fall a long way down. So the mines look like they're not going to be in this direction. Let's go down. Fuck it. The bridge seems untrustworthy. Should anything happen while you were halfway across it, there would be no escape. but the last most final kind, better to walk. You make your way along the stone ledge. The angle is steep and it's hard going not to stumble. At the valley floor, it is a dried up river covered in worn stones, honed by water that is now long gone. Small caves opens in a rock face nearby, with rusted machinery abandoned outside. There was once mining here. Once I must have been a long time ago. It must have been okay. A wider track leads up the far slope. Investigate the mines. You approach the mine entrance. A wet wind greets you from the depths. The mine shaft must lead somewhere, but it is pitch dark. There are no torches, and you do not have any light of your own. We traveled pretty fucking far. Into the mine we go. You stride further inside until the wet rock is above you and the air falls suddenly cold and still. Your breath echoes. Tight, dark places are often fearsome, and though the rock walls here were carved with axes, there is still something wild and harrowing about this place. Your feet crunch on the gravel floor. You go a little further into the dark, feeling your way along the right wall. Then you hear something. A deep, resounding growl. The walls shake. There is the scrape of claws on stone, and another noise like fluttering, beating snails, as though a ship fought against a gale. Something is rushing towards you. You turn to run, but you cannot move your legs quickly enough. Sharp talons gash into your back, and you fall. What is my fate? You have been killed in the darkness. Fucking cars. Okay, the mines have a fucking crazy beast in here. I need a spell for light. What about lit? I need a spell for lit. Um. Ooh, I guess we're gonna have to. Is there an S? S. don't know. It's the Shankir Mines. Why just do sus? Hot. You cast your spell, creating a fireball on the palm that fills the mineshaft with light. Looking ahead, you see the passageway splits into a T-junction with turnings left and right that lead away and downwards into the mine. But then approaching up the left passage, you see something, huge eyes and clawed feet. Then it growls, hot, malicious rage. It's rushing towards you. Hurl the fireball. You toss a fireball towards the creature. There, the smell of burning flesh. The monster roars in pain with an almost human sound. Before it can recover, you turn and run out into the sunshine, the path along hope and follow. Okay. No, I'm going into the mine. Okay, fuck's sake. We'll try sus. You cast a spell, and within moments a dread feeling has come over you. This cave is a place of great and terrible danger, and you feel quite certain that to go further would be okay. Go further in. Oh my god. Okay. God damn it. H-O. How? Wait a moment longer to see the creature's claws appear, and then the face of an old man, and then something sleek along a sharp. You do not see what it is before it struck forwards, piercing your heart with deadly accuracy. Oh my god. Alright. I want to go in this mine. I want to know what the fuck this is. There's no way to fight whatever's in here. Okay, well then we'll get out of here. Climb the valley. Your breath is short and your heart is hammering as you pause halfway up the valley slope. A small wooden hut opposite is settled a little way back from the path. Approach the hut. Thinking you might be able to stop for directions, you head towards the hut. Halfway across the scrub towards it, you see a figure emerging from a doorway. A troll! Approach the troll. You move towards the troll, not afraid to let it see you. And it see you it does, raising its enormous swords above its head and roaring. Draw my sword. Roars in anger. We will hit him with a full 12. Oh, you bastard! The troll stands forward, then arm's length away, he drops down into a crouch behind his thick little shield. You raise your own sword, ready to meet him with a brutal attack, and crash against his defenses. He deflects the blow, mostly by luck. He begins yelling and shouting. I am going to die. I'm gonna hurry up and die right quick. Approach the hut. Approach the troll. Draw my sword. The troll stands forward and an arm's length away. He drops down to a crouch behind his thick little shield. You gather your wits and you drop into defenses and crouch. His shield comes up. He moves his shield. Charge! What? What is up with this troll? Zero. Okay, defend. Is this troll gonna keep defending? The troll cowers behind this shield. His shield twitches. You watch him closely. The troll paces about you, stamping and clawing around on the ground. You hold your blade up. The troll ducks behind his blade. Watch him carefully. The troll moves around you, his shield high. He lifts his shield. Okay. He stops to brush his hair away from his eyes, and you seize the moment to strike. Reaching down, you toss a handful of dirt in his eyes and cut him. He staggers. He raises his shield quickly to defend himself. The troll's shield comes up. Is this dude good? I'm just gonna keep doing point ones. Okay. Oh, okay, there you go. Catches you off guard. You try fast attack, keeping yourself as covered as you can. The troll stabs quickly. The impacts enough so he lifts his shield. You seize the moment to strike. Oh, you bastard. Fuck you. You're dead. You seize the moment when his guard is down and charge forward and swing with an expert precision and all of your strength. You swing, spinning around on the spot. The last cut slices through the troll's neck. Search the troll's hut. With the troll dead, you quickly search the hut and find 3 gold pieces hidden inside a pile of blankets. Then you slip out and continue on along your way. Another hour passes as you finish the climb, with the sun starting to hang heavy in the sky. You reach the top and meet with the other end of the rope bridge. Look at the bridge. It may look stable, but is undoubtedly a deep death trap set to part travelers from their gold and from their lives. You continue down the slope as evening draws in. Head for the town. Some way down the hill, you stop for a rest and sit on the boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downwards, and at its foot, cradled between three peaks, is a village, and quite a large one at that. Behind you, the sun is falling rapidly into the hills. It will be night soon. Approach the village. The village looks like a good place to stop. You hop down from the boulder to make your way forward, and when an overhanging branch touches your face and you hear a lively chirping, turn around. Turn around quickly. Hovering by your shoulder is a small creature the size of a bird. It's a childlike but very thin. With green skin, it flints around you on a transparent wings. It seems friendly enough. It even lands on your shoulder, its tiny clawed toes pinching slightly. Talk to it. Greetings, little creature. And hello to you, the creature replies, chirping. My name is Jan. What are you? What are you? The creature does a backflip and gives a low bow. I'm a Minimite. Pleased to meet you. It reaches a tiny hand and shakes your earlobe. I'm not going anywhere until you're gone. What can you tell me about the village? What do you want with me? See that village? The creature replies. Last time I tried to go through, they told me I wasn't welcome, so I wouldn't mind some protection. The creature starts hopping up and down. Come on, it grumbles impatiently. Let's get going. Where I'm going is dangerous? You choose to warn the creature you might be killed traveling with me. The creature shrugs. I've got small wings, can't get far on my own. What can you tell me about the village? You point down at the valley. Is it safe? That's Bertiani. It is very safe. It's the largest village in the whole Shamalani Hills. Every traveler who comes this way spends at least one night there. So it's a little bit expensive, especially for Minimites. But pleasant enough. The creature flits to your other shoulder once more. You are not in a hurry, are you? It observes. Do you want to sleep out in the rough? I can protect you. The creature squeezes your shoulder gently. It's like having a spider trying to burrow into your skin. Well, let's get going then. The creature shakes you by your ear in excitement. You set off along the path once more. You descend into the bowl of the valley. The hills on either side are toweringly tall, and throw the village into a deep shadow. It would seem a very gloomy, threatening place, but from the streets come the distant sound of laughter and merriment. Jesus, boy. What is up with that dog? Continue along the path. The sounds of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky here in the shade of the valley. And after so long on a dire road, the people in this village seem to be enjoying themselves. See, the Mennonite on your shoulder remarks, I told you it was a happy place. Jan, what's going on? Are they bewitched? Jan shakes his head. No. If there was magic, believe me, I'd know. This is a festival of the young. What's that? Well, take a look. Jan waves his little hand around the village. The idea is that once a year, the children are allowed the freedom of the village. It is a time of great fun and lots of pranks. It becomes quickly obvious what he means. You pass the first few buildings where you find a number of children sitting in the street drinking ale from deep mugs. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and spanking her. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside a hut with a sign that reads Langdruger's Tavern. It is complete mayhem. Leave her. I'm not going to ruin their festivities. Consider helping the woman, but there's nothing you can do. It's their festival after all. I have no fucking... I'm not going in that inn. You pass beyond a tavern and turn a corner to find a group of girls standing by a signpost pointing to Crystal Waterfall. They were tripping up their elders as they passed and giggling. Ask about the waterfall. You stop by a group and ask them about the waterfall, but they are too distracted by Jan, whom they delight in poking and tickling and generally cooing over. After a few minutes of asking them about the waterfall, you give up and walk away. One of the girls calls, "Come back!" Another shouts, The water is good for you." Jan sighs, already missing the attention, but comes back to rest on your shoulder. Move on. You leave the girls to their snickering. Visit the waterfall. You go back past the girls and head up the path that climbs through the crack in the mountainside. Soon the air is filled by a thundering. It is quite a climb, but eventually you turn a corner through a narrow cleft in the rock and catch your first glimpse of a tall natural waterfall plunging down from the cliffs overhead. Large crystal stalactites hang down either side of the water. There is only one path to reach it, winding up the rock face, and it passes by a small hut where a ruffian is collecting money. Great ruffian. You make your way over to the hut. "Greetings," you begin. "You collect a fee for the waters." "I do," sneezes the ruffian. "These waters cannot be so healing that has not caught an awful flu from them." 3 gold pieces. Pay. Gives me a towel in return after I pay him 3 gold coins. You head up the waterfall, which cascades forcefully into a deep pool. You strip off your clothes and dive into the pool while Jan flitters through the froth. The cool waters is fresh and invigorating, and you feel yourself getting rapidly better. You feel a huge swell of confidence. Coming here was the best decision you've made. Now you can move on, refreshed and ready for the night. Let's sleep by the waterfall. The idea of going back to the village now is unappealing. You are refreshed and calm, and the scenery here is beautiful and peaceful. Getting out of the pool, you dry off and collect your things and head into the trees and find a spot to rest. Between the curling roots find a small place to settle down to rest. Jan perches a little way above the nut and is quickly asleep. You are tired enough to follow suit, but you are hungry from not having eaten. Eat something. You pull out a quantity of your cheese and bread and eat quickly. The night's darkness draws in around you. In the distance you hear screams and whoops from the village that slowly fade. You feel lonely. Distance from such revelry. You rest your head onto your backpack and close your eyes. Sleep! Dreams are filled with walking, with peaks and valleys and endless paths. A curious light plays across them, building walls to heights before ruining them as it moves away. The rest of the night passes silently. Yeah, fuck this place. Going out of this town. You rise early from your spot beneath the tree. As you gather your things, Jan leaps onto your shoulder. "Ready to go?" he chirps. You pass through the village, which is now quiet as the grave, and rejoin the path. On the far side of Britiani, the sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Toranapi today, the last village in the Shimanti Hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, heading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. That's Jan's advice. Which way, Jan? To the right is a forest. To the left is going easier. The path heads through a field of black flowers to Tropi. What else do you know? You demand suspiciously. Nothing, protests the creature, and that's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging you for any advice, you know. You'll get no more from the creature. But to not be so close, it hardly matters which way you go, surely. Well, there's a fucking hut here that I'd like to visit, so let's go here. We're going right. We go right, you decide. Then be on your guard, Jan warns you. You climb a rise. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge and are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills. Where the trees are thin, the view west goes on forever. Something you catch glimpses of care on the northern horizon. Keep going. You decide not to stop to eat and push on. Jan is in a talkative mood and fills the air with his chatter about what he can see and how things smell and what he plans to do once he makes his fortune in care. It's enough to make you wonder if you could sell him as a companion to blind an old lady somewhere. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Quiet. Suddenly Jan falls quiet and hisses in your ear. Stop, stop, stop now. Why? Because. It's just a creature in a tiny voice. Because something is following us. You come to a dead stop. Jan is right. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between the two trees that touches your neck. You see me, whispers a voice. I know it. Draw my sword. You have a moment to draw your sword before the tall figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and you had not seen him in a moment before, even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away. He wields a sharp scimitar in an expert hands. Fuck you, cast a spell, zap his bitch ass. Z-A-P. Cast. You cast a spell, but nothing results. I should probably tell you, Jan whispers, Mennonites are protected by an aura. It's a curse sometimes, like now. Because you can't cast magic while I'm nearby. I'm not leaving while the assassin is there. Bring your fucking asshole. Charge! Bitch. The assassin nods at you, taps 2 fingers against his chest, and readies his stance. You measure the weight of your sword, then bring it up to deliver a cleaving blow. The assassin covers himself. He is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. Closing his eyes, he murmurs a quick prayer, and he sets his stance. 6. Bitch. In the next moment, he is on you in a flash. Your own stroke is overpowered. His own swing is devastatingly placed. The impact of his blow is deep and knocks you staggering across the earth. He twists his blade before pulling it free. The assassin spins his sword about to shift the sword across his body. You drop yourself into a crouch. His light blow sails over your head, moving with the deadly speed of an attacking serpent. You are mostly unharmed. The assassin laughs, rapidly. He shovels his grip. The weapon sings as it moves. You hold firmer, keep your distance. His attack whizzes past you, and on the left side you're mostly unhurt. Oh my god, I hate this guy. We're restarting this battle. I feel stupid. Okay. The assassin bows to you, raises his curved sword in a salute, and then takes his position. You drop into a defensive crouch immediately. The assassin is perhaps the most fearsome opponent you have so far encountered. He turns his curved sword about but his attack lands on your defense. He laughs. Time to attack. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but the impact clangs against his turned sword. He grins. He is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. Every time I attack, he's fucking... Alright, bitch. Attack it quickly, you slash violently. As assassin, my duty is to hit your neck. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, he says in a voice as cold as polished marble. You will not hold me from it. You send him hurrying backwards. You swing a masterful swipe. He is off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. I am not so proud as to admit when I am beaten, he groans. You may finish me if you choose, but if you do, do me an honor and use my own blade. The assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor gasping. Finish him. With a single blow, you finish the assassin. He dies with his lips pursed in a silent prayer, not cursing you, but commanding his own soul to a better place. You rifle his body for a measly 3 gold pieces and continue on the path. Out of the woods onto the dusty hillside, Jan for a brief while says nothing. Perhaps he is shocked, but the blissful silence doesn't last for long. How much longer do you think we'll be traveling today? The man on your shoulder asked. I'm hungry and tired. We've gone such a long way. Not much further. The knight sighs and slumps onto your shoulder. You continue along the path around the side of the hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope with an old woman sitting in the front step. River seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get closer, you realize the water from underneath her house and the house itself is set on splayed struts like an insect straddling the watercourse. A few paces from the front of the house, the water plunges over the edge of the cliff and disappears. Greet the woman. Greetings, you call. The woman looks up at you and smiles. Come over here, won't you? She calls. I can barely see you. You approach the old woman. She smiles a toothless smile and gets up from the step. Come in, please, she beckons. I get so lonely living out here, I get so lonely living out here on my own, away from the villagers. Go inside. Fuck it. Thank you. You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. I'll bring us some tea, she says. She sounds almost nervous. Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 large cups. Watch it, Jane whispers in her ear. I don't trust this one. Make conversation. Tea is still hot. The cup is between your hands as you speak. This is a beautiful place, you remark, watching the river outside, the door plunging away over the cliff face. This is the top of Crystal Waterfall, she says. The river runs right under my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep. And the villagers bathe in it for luck, she giggles meanly. I'm sure it isn't quite true. What's your name? They call me Gaza Moon, she replies with a smile. I used to be quite well known in my way. You know, but you never heard of her. Why do you live alone? It must be more dangerous. Oh, she smiles sweetly. No one bothers about me. Why would they? You smile and nod. You make to sip your tea when the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches your lips. Oh, she says suddenly. I've forgotten the pot. She goes back into the kitchen to fetch it. switch cups. While she's away from the table, you switch 2 cups around. Then when she returns, you lift one. While she's away from the table, you switch the 2 cups around. Then when she returns, you lift one closest to you and drink. A sudden deep pain grips your stomach, and you double over. What's happening? You wince and cough as you find yourself seizing up. Oh, suspicious stranger, laughs the woman. I can count on travelers suspecting my witchcraft. Release me. You try to shout out, but you are paralyzed and quite powerless. The old woman begins to search through your bag. Jan flints about in some distress, unsure what to do. Then with a chew of delight, she pulls out a spellbook page you were given by the old man in the tree. My book, she cries. The missing page. Why didn't you tell me you had my missing spell? She scurries off into the kitchen and returns with a cup of liquid, which she pours into your half-open mouth while clucking and stroking your head. It's an antidote, and you feel your body slowly unfreeze. Finally, she slaps you to bring you around. What is a spell? What is a spell, you ask? It's a spell for pest repulsion. You have no idea how useful it is around here. She shakes her head. 4 days ago, I was visited by a traveler such as yourself. But when I was away making my tea, as I always do, he started lifting through my book and tore out a page. You must have been a wizard of power because he vanished almost too fast for me to curse him. What curse did you cast? Well, you saw him, she replies. I aged him. Didn't stop him escaping, though. She fusses the page, repairing her spellbook with some gentle magic. Shall I show you how useful the spell is, she says. Please. My pleasure. Jan begins to squeal and screech and make some awful noises about what wonderful friends you are. But it doesn't stop the old lady from casting her spell. The Mennonite vanishes. Feel a flow of magic back through your body. You hadn't realized it was gone, but with the Mennonite around, your spells have been weakened, and now you are strong once more. Where is he? Is he dead? The old woman shakes her head. Oh no, but with any luck you won't see him again. You nod and leave her hut. I was so close to care. I don't care, man. I don't care about him being with me. No, we're gonna rewind that. Go inside. Oh. Make conversation. What is your name? Why do you live alone? This is a beautiful place. Make a run for it. There's something very wrong here. While the woman's back is turned, you try to slip away, but she hears your footsteps call out, come back here, please come back. Keep walking. The old woman begins to scream incoherently. Little Jane is shaken now. Suddenly there's a cracking sound to your left. You wheel around and see a closed little tree swaying its trunk. Dodge right. You dodge right quickly. The tree falls exactly where you had been standing. Picking yourself up, you find the old woman standing in front of you. You do wrong to ignore the invitation of Gaza Moon, she declares, pointing a crooked finger at you. Her hand is crackling with blue energy. A lightning bolt is only milliseconds away. What is the protection spell? What is that protection spell? Off. Nothing happens. Your last thought Oh, nothing happens. Your last thought is of one panic. What happened? What has happened to your magic? Those two. Oh, forgot. Go inside. Make conversation. Make a run for it. Left, dodge right. Dodge right. Go inside. Drink the tea. Just drink the tea. You make a sip of your tea when the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches your lips. Oh, she says suddenly. I forgot the pot. Drink the tea. With a mug and blow away the steam and take a sip. As the old lady returns, the old lady lifts her own mug and takes a deep gulp. Her own tea is gently refreshing. Then she replenishes a glass and grips her aside. Wait. You sit back and will watch to see what will happen. She is trying to smile, but the pain is clearly quite severe. Stumbling and almost falling, she staggers to her kitchen and gulps down another drink. When she returns, she seems much better again. I'm not as young as I was, she explains. All the same, she pushes her tea to one side. Tell me about you. Yes. That's right. I'm going to Carrot. She claps her hands. Ah, the last city. Indeed, you answer. Tell me, on your journey, you didn't happen to come across an old man, did you? Yes, I have. Not just any old man, she says. This one's carrying a page of a spell book. Show her the page. You pull the spell page from your pack and her eyes light up, giggling with glee. She snatches it. What is a spell? You ask. It's a spell repulsion. Were you uncurse him now? Well, she looks quite a little uncomfortable. I'd rather think it might be too late. I aged him almost to 130 years, you see. I wanted to slow him down, but instead I sped him up. And she giggles. She fuses it with a large page, repairing her spellbook with some gentle magic. Shall I show you how useful the spell is? No, I'm good. No, you shake your head. I've had enough of your magic. Oh, you poor thing, she clucks. I'm sorry about the tea. It's just a habit. You are sure don't want me to rid you of a pest? You realize she's looking at Jan. I'll keep him. I have no pests. No, she agrees with some disgust. Seem rather clean. She gets to her feet. You best be going. Alright, that's an even better outcome. What if I kept the page? I don't care. Let's go. It is now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the next hill, and below you is a village of Torripani, sledged from one side of the valley to the next like a flood barrier. Approach. Still, there is no way around it. It is too large to destroy with a fireball. You will have to go through. You enter the village. There is a definite air of depression hanging over the place. The Svens are going about their business slowly and miserably, and pay you no heed. You sit yourself down on a tree stump in the very center of the village to consider your options. Make contact with the villagers first. You spy a group of Svens sitting outside a low hut, and you walk over and sit yourself down. They are discussing a friend apparently killed in the night by an assassin's curved blade. Is that why you are all afraid? We are afraid of no thing, retorts one of the Svens furiously. But no much worse, another Sven bangs his hand down on the table. But with Esh dead, who saved Tia? Who's Tia? Our flower. The Sven who answers wipes a tear from the corner of his eye, scratching himself painfully with an uncut fingernail. Tia's the chief daughter. The other Sven says Esh was to save her. Now Esh is not alive, so Tia soon not alive. I'll save her. You replies the Sven. You thin and weak, not even green. Trouble is, another says, our village die if chief line end. Tia is end. So if end ends, we end. All very sad. Very sad, they all agree. Who you? One asked suddenly, as if only just thinking of a warrior. A sudden gleam enters the biggest one's eye. A great warrior. The greatest. Best is good. Miki Tifa, he signals to the others who are quickly on their feet, big hefty arms swinging for you. We take to chief. Before you can resist, they have you, and you are hauling you bodily onto their shoulders. What the fuck? Jan clings onto your shoulder, refusing to be shaken free. Where are you taking me? The Svens are carrying you. Give you in reply, then you reach a low hut, and the end of it is you sit down carefully. The door is slammed and locked. A moment later, it's reopened. Your possessions are thrown inside. You quickly look through them, but everything seems to be in place. Try to sleep, I guess. A few more minutes pass with no more movement. Figuring they will probably now wait until daylight, you put your head down to sleep. The aching in your empty belly gnaws at you with glee. Your dreams are filled with grasping hands and a long dark nail scratching at your flesh. However much you toss and turn on the floor, you cannot quite get them out of your mind. Daybreak. You are still alone. An hour passes before you hear any noise outside, and then the door up to the hut opens, and 5 Svens come in. They drag you roughly out and across the street to another hut, where an old man with gray hair sits. He is wearing outlandish, colorful robes. My name is Prosperous Chief. He slaps his chest twice. I apologize. Then he bows, brushing the dust on the floor with his sleeves. Tell me what you want. He holds up a hand. First, he waves to a menial who brings in bread and milk. Eat it. Methodically, you bolt down the meal. It does not seem to be poison, and it nourishes you. The bowl is removed, and the chief squats down in a pool of cloth. Jan cowers under your cloak, hoping to go unnoticed. I have no need of you and your strength. I will help if I can. The chief bows. I am grateful. My daughter and my child she is taken, offered to a terrible demon below. I will try or die trying. The chief claps you on the shoulder with a clawed hand. He gestures the other Svens who still taking no chances, grab you by your arms and haul you to your feet. Let's go save her. You are led along the short pathway through the forest to a crack in the ground. One Sven who brought a rope and another a basket. They are preparing to lower you into the pit of the earth itself. Take the adventure. You wait until they are ready, then step into the basket. The chief nods to you with respect. Watch the darkness, he declares, as they start to lower you down. From your shoulder, Jan murmurs, we're in trouble now, she shivers. You don't realize you can't use magic with me around, and I'm not going anywhere. You hit the floor with a thud and peer into the darkness. Your eyes can make out nothing but slight breeze. Cease endless space in all directions. You are blind, helpless, trapped. Something clatters to your feet from above. One of the Svens shouts something down at you. Feel around on the ground. You crouch down and feel around until your hand closes on the base of something. You pick it up. It's dry wood torch. Something else falls from above and strikes you on the head. Tinderbox, calls the voice. Feel around for the tinderbox. Rubbing the bruise on your head, you reach down and find the tinderbox. Light the torch. You strike and the torch blazes into flame. You can see now you are in a large cavern, wide and deep. At the far end, passageway disappeared to the left and right. Though an uneven rock fall at the far end of the cavern, you hear a murmur. I can't believe I'm doing this. Listen by the rocks. You clamber over the rocks at the edge of the cavern to investigate the sound. It is a whimpering coming from the other side of the pile of stones. The Sven girl, perhaps? She came this way, but then the cave is blocked off her path. You will have to find another way to reach her. Go left. You go left and creep slowly into the darkness, ears straining for a sound of approaching threat, but all you can hear is Jan's quiet whimpering. The passageway slopes down a short way that ends in a T-junction. Two stones are stacked on top of another against a wall here. Examine the stones. There's nothing special about the two stones except that they happen to be on top of one another. Let's go left. You take the left passageway. The tunnel twists and bends sharply as if carved by a river. Now, long since dried away, you lose all sense of which way is which, except to keep going forward. The tunnel splits. There is a stacked pair of stones here as well. Go left. Slip through the opening of the left wall. The going is suddenly more difficult, and you realize that the tunnel is climbing quite a sharp gradient. Little stones rattle and roll away down towards into the dark. The highest point of the passage are following finishes another fork as you enter the stones. No way down the cave. Go left. The cave walls crush and close. Rock squeezing your shoulders. The walls, you feel certain. The path you creep into forks again. Go right. For several minutes and slip on some dirt. The ground beneath your feet gives way. You plunge into a hidden pit and land on something soft. Look around. Oh, not yet counting your luck, you look around, and sure enough, you are out of the frying pan and into a reptile den. You are in a pit of snakes. Oh. Oh, I'm dead. By snakes. All right. Okay, fuck. We're going right. Step forward. Slowly forward, the passage rises up into a gentle incline. At the top of the thick crystal, seam glitters in the torchlight, and the T-junction ends in a T-junction. Look at the crystal. It seems to be made of pure diamond. It was no doubt in a quest of this that these tunnels were carved. But why is no one mining here now? Dig out the crystal. Try to pry some diamonds loose from the incredible seam in the rock, but your sword is not up to the task, and you would only make it blunt. You could perhaps return with a proper pick, but only if you can escape these tunnels first. Let's go right. Take a right dirt beneath your feet. A lucky escape. Oh, pray to my spirit. You whisper a fervent prayer to the puma, your spirit. Does it hear you? The snakes are gathering around you, coming closer, and then they begin to climb the walls, holding themselves erect until they form a living ladder that stretches up the passage above. Climb it quickly. You feel your courage to climb and back up the tunnel above. Back on the firm ground, you give thanks to your spirit, but you are aware you will not now be helped again. You are soon back by the crystal seam where a side passage opens to the left. You push on. Here the cave system widens. Pellet and stalactites hanging from the ceiling as if about to fall and skewer you right into place. You skirt between them, following a thin, safe path until a passageway appears on your right. Go straight on. You creep forwards to the dark. The passageway slopes down a short way, then a crack splits the wall to the left. Two stones are stacked on top of one another against the wall here. Go straight on. Move onwards. The tunnel twists and bends sharply as if carved into a river now. Fuck. Go right. I don't know where I'm at. Go left. Go straight on. Go left. Whoa. Follow the passageway when you hear an echo whimpering coming up from the corridor. Your torchlight falls across the frail shape hiding in the shadows. It is a young Sven girl, stacking stones into hundreds of little towers. Look for traps. You run the torchlight around the walls of the cavern. No switches. No switches or triggers. The girl watches you with silent fear, and then this torchlight falls onto a deep scratch in the rock. A claw mark. Suddenly, there is a loud roaring from the mouth of the short cavern. The walls begin to shake and crumble. The Sven stone towers topple and scatter. To one side, a gap in the rubble begins to open, letting through an immense shaft of light. But before you can hear before it, the roaring sound is joined by a scream from the Sven girl. You turn slowly and peer into the gloom back along the tunnel. There's something moving, something coming closer. Perhaps the roaring is the wind rushing through the tunnels. Oh shit. You hear the scrabbling sound of claws on the rock and exit from the tunnel. And the exit of the tunnel is blocked by a dark looming shape, a manticore, a huge terrible, stands between you and the light and howls in a bloody rage. Oh no, fight the creature. A fucking manticore. Fucking full force, huh? The fearsome creature paces forward, teeth bared, and you drop back, raising your guard, hoping the beast will wear itself out. At the last moment, the manticore pounces all claws on the ground and bared to plunge into your flesh. You brace yourself as it comes down. The leap aside at the last moment, claws raking your skin for a moment. It is close enough to smell its warm, fetid breath. Die, you motherfucker. I'm fucking him up. Shit. Shit. Yes! You must kill this creature. Back against the rock, you deliver a ferocious stab at the foul creature. Your sword blade seems almost to be possessed. It finds its way past the manticore, sweeping claws through its thick hide and down into its ancient, cruel heart. For a moment it howls, loud enough to make the walls shake. Then everything falls very quiet. The only noise in the chamber is the hammering of your heart and the quiet breathing of the Sven girl. Then the Mennonite breaks out into a loud cheer, whooping and punching the air. You bow to him. Thank you, the Sven girl mummers, and then tugging at your arm. This way she leads you towards the light, through the gap in the rocks, to the pool of sunshine in the first cavern. The fucking Manicore. You wave the torch, hoping to attract attention. Tell the girl to call up. Girl, call to your father. The Sven child nods mutely, then bawls at the top of her lungs. Brothers, I'm here. And then something drops down, a rope with a basket on the end. Get in together, the chief calls from above. We'll pull you both up. Send the girl up first. You lift the girl into the basket and call up, haul away. The Svens give a great cry and begin to pull, and the basket starts to slowly rise, spinning as it goes. The girl waves to you as she disappears into the sunlight. Then she is gone. A minute passes, nothing. Call up. Throw down the rope, nothing. The tunnel echoes very silently, a noise from the depths. Perhaps the Manicore was not alone. Wait a little longer. You wait a little longer, settling down on your pack. You can't imagine the celebration going on above, around the tears and grateful reunion. No surprise that they lose track of you. But down here in the dark, and then sure enough, the basket and rope tumble down. You clamber quickly in, and they haul you up. Above ground, the chief himself helps you onto the grass. His daughter is with him, clenching his hand. My daughter tells you fought bravely, he says. For that I am grateful. I invite you with us back to Trampi. Will you come? Let's go back so I can fucking feast, eat, and heal up. Hell yeah. Look at me go. You will take what you are offered. You nod. I will come. As you enter the village, it erupts into celebration. You are given a place to stay and recuperate from your long journey. A visit to the healing priest treats your wounds. And when you emerge, it is to find the village before too somber and silent. Now, in full life, flowers are tied to every rooftop, and bands of Svens are playing music on long, straggly shaped lyres. Or whatever the word that is. Fuck you. You find a quiet spot under a tree to watch the festivities, drowning your demons in glasses of thick blood wine, brought to you by the children. These animals are crazy. That night you sleep heavily and rise the next morning to continue your journey. The chief meets you before you go. My good friend, he declares, you have saved us. He presses 2 gifts into your hands, a pouch of 10 gold pieces, a fortune for a place like this, and a key. This opened the south city gate of Care, he tells you. I hope it is use. Time to go. You take your leave. The path winds away from Torrepini. I don't give a fuck anymore, dude. As soon as you are on a downward slope away from the Shumati Hills, Shamutani Hills, through stepped rice fields, as you walk, you feel the peace and emptiness of the wasteland for the first time. Enough of these villagers with their petty squabbles and nasty ends. There will be rich pickings and care, and beyond that, there is nothing but the true emptiness of the backlands. Walk on. In the distance rises the wall of the great city, the first true stonework you have seen since you left home. From your shoulder, you feel Jan hop away in the air. I don't mind the Manticore, he hisses, but this place I'm afraid of. Take care. You'll need it. Then he buzzes away into the sky and is gone. You wonder if you will ever see him again. Your journey through the Shamanti Hills is complete. Along the way, you have made no useful friendships, but have been given the key to the Gates of Care. You have collected a couple magical artifacts, a large lump of beeswax, and a cloth skull cap. You are armed with the long sword, Ragarasa's armband of sword mastery, and your original sword, and have 4 rations of 28 gold pieces and a spellbook. The adventure continues in Sorcery 2. Care. Okay. Oh. Awesome. The crown of kings has been stolen by the Archmage and taken across the backlands of Mamping. You have been sent out to get it back. Should you fail, the whole of Kakaban will surely fall. Hold on. Is this part 2 right here? It is. Oh, holy shit. Ugh, this is a big ass fucking city. Alright, guess we'll continue our journey. Hello. Guess we'll continue our journey some other time. That was fun. That was Sorcery 1 complete. If you enjoyed this, stick around for part 2, man. In the meantime, y'all enjoy yourselves. Y'all have fun. Y'all be nice to each other. Alright? Till next time, y'all.